Good morning, good afternoon, whenever you're viewing this, and welcome to week number 3. It's going by so quickly. And in this particular week, so last week we talked about hotel development and how it makes sense to set that up with management or franchise agreements. Next, we're going to be looking at hotel operations specifically. So we're going to start with the rooms division. In every hotel I can think of, there's a rooms division because you do sell rooms. So the hierarchy of all of the departments that could fit within that division are going to be listed here on the screen, and I'll go over them. There's a lot more detail in your book, and this is a great chapter if you're interested in learning how to run a hotel. And so in each hotel, it might be set up a little bit different depending on a couple of factors. It could be the size of the hotel, the classification of the hotel, the level of service it provides, whether it's a luxury hotel or a budget or economy hotel. It might vary as to what the offerings are, therefore what departments and positions are needed to be able to provide the services to the guests. So this is a general guideline that I'll show you, or a general outline of the positions and departments. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to let me know. If we've seen something different, I'd love to hear that as well. So when we scroll down here, we'll see the Director of Room Operations. Sometimes this could be called Director of Operations. Sometimes it could be called a Resident Manager. I've heard a Rooms Executive I've heard as well. So it kind of depends a little bit on the particular hotel brand and what they have. And then it's going to be divided, and I'm going to go from left to right. Front Office Manager, Housekeeping, and Loss Prevention, or Safety and Security it might be called. So starting with the front office positions, this is going to encompass your front desk, right, where the check-ins and check-outs happen. It also include guest services. Sometimes this might be called bellman or bell services. PBX, and this is the department that handles the telephones, right? So the incoming and outgoing calls. It could be setting up wake-up calls for guests, delivering messages, things like that. Business center, these were a little bit more prominent several years ago. I think now with a lot of things being handled on handheld devices and phones and not needing paper so much, and people kind of walking around with their computers in the palm of their hand, might not be as necessary. Concierge, this is an interesting department that helps assist guests with itineraries of what to do, see, how to get places once they're in the location. It could be, setting up, let's take San Francisco for an example, needing to get Alcatraz tickets, how to see some of the sights of the city, how to get into the play that's sold out or the opera, baseball tickets, right? You name it, right? Whatever you need is kind of the motto here for a concierge. I will say also, again, with some of the technology that we have, Yelp, OpenTable, things that assist people to be able to make reservations. Some of these requests have gone away or have minimized with time and technology. And then finally, reservations. So some places have a reservations department on site. Thinking about smaller hotels that don't have a chain affiliation, might be booking reservations directly through the hotel. Some bigger chain operations have a central reservation system that do it. Again, not a lot of people call a hotel to make a reservation, right? When you have the websites to be able to book directly. So you want to think about how technology impacts some of this. In a large hotel, these might be a whole bunch of people working in all these different areas. In a smaller hotel, this might be one person, right? That kind of does it all. So it just kind of depends. We'll move over to housekeeping next. This is the department that takes care of cleaning all of the usually interior of the building, from guest rooms, right, to public spaces, public restrooms, potentially cleaning any area of the hotel that needs it. The head of housekeeping can be called executive housekeeper, director of housekeeping. These are very typical titles. They might have an assistant executive housekeeper or assistant director, or a housekeeping manager of some sort, depending on how many management positions are needed based on the size. The hotel could include laundry and potentially a laundry manager. Many hotels, especially in San Francisco, because the price of the real estate is so expensive. Also, the machinery in a laundry facility is quite costly, both to purchase and to maintain. So some properties, some hotels will outsource their laundry, right? Have a company come and pick up all of their laundry, clean it offsite, and then deliver it back clean. This saves on the equipment cost as well as the labor cost and the space needed to be able to house such a facility. And then you might have contract cleaning. So contract cleaning might be where you don't you don't have the employees working directly for you. You contract out to another company. This can be task-based, or it could be shift-based. I'll give you some examples. So, window washing, pretty unique skill set, requiring equipment and specific training, especially in high-rise buildings that have the scaffolding and things like that. So you might contract out that. You might contract out the carpet cleaning, again, because the cost of purchasing all of the machinery and maintaining it yourself might be cost prohibitive. You could also contract out a particular shift, like the overnight shift, right? Overnight is typically when things are more deep cleaned. Things like kitchens and restaurants, food and beverage outlets are all cleaned when they're closed on the overnight shift, and so you might contract that out. So those are just some examples. And then the third department that I have underneath this room's discipline is loss prevention or safety and security. Again, based on the size of the hotel, you may or may not have that position, but it's good to note. And also, sometimes this position does not report into the rooms division. It might, depending on the structure and the capabilities of the individuals, it might report directly to the general manager. It might report into the facilities maintenance area. But within the materials that I've include some of the ideas of what a security loss prevention area would handle and maintain. So I really hope that you enjoy a couple of the exercises that we have this particular week to help you get a little bit more acquainted to the rooms division, as well as a little bit of math to be able to learn some common verbiage and ratios that are necessary to be able to articulate your success in the rooms division of a hotel. So have a great week ahead. Have a great Labor Day, and I will see you soon. Bye.